What's going on, guys? Dawko back again. Hope you are fantastic today, and I have finally finished reading the Twisted Ones. The reason why I'm quite late than when I did the review on the Silver Eyes is mainly because I was on holiday, and also the book was released later in the UK than in America. I think it was released in July in the UK, but in June for America. And when it was released in the UK, I was on holiday, so I wasn't able to read it. But I have read it. I've done it. It's done. And I've written like pages and pages of notes and bullet points for my analysis on the book, which will be a separate video. But for this video, we're going to just give a review on the Silver Eyes, a review on the Twisted Ones, and it's going to be a spoiler-free review for the first part and a spoiler review later on, giving my thoughts on the ending and stuff like that, if you guys are cool with that. I was going to do two separate videos, but I thought that was a bit silly. Why not just do a whole review where the first part's spoiler-free and the second part's spoilers? Simple. So, guys, I'm going to quickly read the blurb at the back of the book, to give you a summary on what this book's about. It's not spoilers because it's the blurb, okay? Here we go. It's been a year since the horrific events at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and Charlie is just trying to move on. Even with the excitement of a new school and a fresh start, she's still haunted by nightmares of a masked murderer and 4 gruesome animatronic puppets. Charlie thinks her ordeal is over, but when a series of bodies is discovered near her school, bearing wounds that are disturbingly familiar, she finds herself drawn back into the world of her father's frightening creations. Something twisted is hunting Charlie, and this time, if it finds her, it's not letting her go. So, this book takes place a year after The Silver Eyes. I recommend you guys read this book first, obviously. This book revisits a lot of The Silver Eyes a lot, and you'll understand it more if you read the first book first, obviously, and then read this one next. That's simple. I think the book was amazing. I think the book was a lot better than the first book. I really did enjoy the first book, but the first book kind of lost track on Five Nights at Freddy's details, if that makes sense. It kind of wandered off a lot more compared to this book. This book is full of details of FNAF, and it doesn't wander off too much. It sticks to the tension and sticks to the details of the characters instead of talking about random things. This book keeps the details in, which I thought was really good, and it kept the suspense through the whole book. But to be honest, I understand why the first book was wandering off a bit, because it was the first book, obviously. It needed to set the setting more than the second book. The Twisted Ones is suspenseful, amazing, and it will make your eyes stick to the book. I basically started reading this 2 nights ago on the night, and I read about 20% of it, and then in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening, all day, I read the rest of it, and it was amazing, and I just loved it. I did have little breaks in between each chapter, but I stuck to the chapter and then took a break and then read the next chapter, took a break, because I loved every single detail in this game. And if you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, you should read the book because it's really, really good. Yeah, so the book is about Charlie, 1 year after the events of Five Nights at Freddy's, The Silver Eyes. She has grown a lot since that event. She's grown a lot stronger, and so has her friends as well. It does get a lot more suspenseful, and it gets really good. As the more you get on reading the book, the more suspenseful it gets. It's like this. Like, it starts off here and it goes, and it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going until the end. Which, actually, no, the ending is awesome too. I'm obviously not going to spoil it, but the ending is really, really awesome. And it confirms, even though Scott already has confirmed, that there's going to be a third book, and that's going to be the final book according to him. But yeah, that's all I can really say without saying any major spoilers, honestly. I don't really want to say any spoilers as well, because people might complain if I talk about anything about the book. For the spoiler-free people, guys, it's a really good book. I recommend you get it. And this is the part where I talk about spoilers, guys, so please stop watching the video if you don't want spoilers, okay? Thank you. Let me get my spoiler notes, guys. Seriously, I freaking pages and pages of each chapter and details, which are really, really cool. So yeah, from the spoiler-free review, I was saying that the murders happened, and it was freaking awesome, guys. If you guys have read the book, or you just want spoilers, basically, Charlie stumbles across Clay, and Clay is the investigator from last book, who was in the pizzeria with the kid gang, and helps them, the police officer. He comes back to find Charlie learning robotics at a university. Ironically, she's learning robotics at college. And Clay finds her and says, look, there's a murder. In the middle of a field, there was a body on the floor, guys, clumped up, like rotten and absolutely horrible looking. And Charlie knows what happened to that body. It was caused by spring locks, which was really weird. Like that person was dead by spring locks and then got jumped up in a field. And it was weird because we thought Dave died. Which was really weird. We thought Dave was dead from the last book. I kind of suspected that he wasn't dead, that he maybe got away, but apparently the body was never found. Clay told Charlie the body was never found, didn't he, in the pizzeria, which obviously makes us think, oh my god, Dave's still alive, what are we going to do? But then Charlie and Jessica, another character from the last book, go to the pizzeria, which has been demolished, but some things are still there. Because there was a storm, guys. There was a massive storm, and the builders and the deconstruction site stopped working on it and just left it. They got rid of the animatronics. And got rid of everything. And then Charlie and Jessica go back and find a secret storage room behind the stage. And guess who's in there? Dave. Dave's dead body is in there in the Spring Locks Bonnie costume. He's dead. He is dead. And then they go off. They leave the door open with Springtrap still in there, and they leave him. They don't pick up his body and take him somewhere. He's just left to rot there for now. Anything else I really need to say is that more bodies are found, guys, later on in the chapters, as you guys know. If you haven't watched the book and if you haven't read the book anyway and you want spoilers, more bodies are found on fields being dumped from the Springlock failures. Like absolutely disgustingly murdered, guys. Brutally murdered, blood everywhere, limbs everywhere from all the Springlocks attacking them. Also, I forgot to say that Clay reveals that Dave's blood was fake, apparently. Apparently, the blood was fake from when Dave died in the Silver Eyes. Apparently, it was fake blood, which I've never understood. Then more bodies are found, guys. But then Charlie says, that's enough. I've had enough of this. And then goes to one of the victims' house because Clay's an investigator. He knows where the victim lived. She went to the house, guys, and in the garden were 3 holes, like 3 mouths. Like something's been buried underneath there, which was really, really weird. She checked the holes and apparently nothing was in there. That it must have been like old mounts where something came out of them, which I'm going to say in a minute. So that was really weird. So she decides to go back to her father's house from the Silver Eyes, if you remember. Like, this is what I was on about from the spoiler-free side, that a lot of the Twisted Ones links with the Silver Eyes, and it's in the same location, which I find really cool, and they're going back to old locations and stuff like her father's house. The storm knocks down a secret room in her father's house, and in the secret room are the same 3 holes from the garden of the victim who died before. In one of the holes, guys, was an animatronic, Twisted Foxy. Now, this is where things get really, really interesting. Basically, Twisted Foxy activates, and then its skin changes as it activates. It turns into a different, like, entity, where it looks more detailed and more scarier. And then they have all these twisted versions, guys, all have chest cavities, where that's where the people are stored and killed in the spring suit, kind of like Sister Location. Think of Sister Location when the animatronics had like chest cavities where they opened up and they put the victim inside the chest and then killed them or stored them. Basically, Twisted Foxy attacks Charlie, tries to get her inside the chest cavity, and then John, from the old book as well, who has a massive crush on Charlie, and they get more lovey-dovey in this book, rips the head off Twisted Foxy, and it gets deactivated. The thing is, though, guys, they get a switch out of Twisted Foxy. It's like a disc. It's like a disc. And the disc had Afton Robotics LLC written on them. You should remember that, guys. It's from Sister Location again. Afton Robotics, which means William Afton has created these animatronics. Why the hell are William Afton's creations buried in a secret room in Henry's house? Still never understood that. Probably from the third book we'll understand that. Another weird thing about these discs, guys, these discs what are planted inside these animatronics, is that they make a high-pitched sound. And Charlie explains, because she does robotics and AIs and stuff about the brain and stuff, that these discs with a high-pitched sound make you have illusions and make you hallucinate and have illusions. It screws up with your brain, guys, and you imagine things. Now, this was revealed later on in the book as well, Charlie explains, is that little kids, when this signal's activated, are going to see the animatronics as cute and cuddly and lovely, which will make them get lured into the chest cavities of these animatronics. Basically, William created these discs to lure kids to kill them. The thing is, though, is that Charlie and the gang see these animatronics as twisted animatronics, ugly, horrifying nightmares. And that's because they have experienced a nightmare from these animatronics from last year in the Silver Eyes. So whenever these signals come on, their brains picture them as nightmares, which is really, really interesting, guys, because I know this book is not canon to the game lore, but Five Nights at Freddy's 4, the little boy sees them as nightmares. It could be the same thing. So yeah, it's confirmed now, guys, that William Afton created these twisted animatronics with the signals inside them to change the appearance of these animatronics, whether they look like a nightmare to Charlie or a cute, cuddly, lovely animatronic for kids. So yeah, they carry on trying to follow where these animatronics go, because they've learned that from where they're going, they go every 3 miles and then dig underground and kill someone and then dig underground and hide every 3 miles, starting from her father's house all the way to Charlie's college. So these twisted animatronics are deliberately looking for Charlie to try and kill her. But because they only come out at night, they walk 3 miles at night, it turns daytime, they have to bury themselves and hide from the public, and then when it turns night again, they get out, etc., all the way to Charlie's dormitory in college. But on the way, they're killing people as well. Now, you might be wondering how the hell these twisted animatronics know where Charlie is. You'll see later on when I explain. More people are killed, guys. We get to see the wolf animatronic, the twisted wolf, and Twisted Freddy as well, which is really, really cool. We see them like hiding underneath the ground, burying themselves, and when it turns night, they go out and look for people, and obviously they kill again. And Charlie has enough of it, so she wants to sacrifice herself. She goes to where they're buried in a show home, and then Twisted Freddy eats Charlie, and then Charlie's trapped in the spring suit. This is where things get really, really interesting. Very, very interesting. We think Charlie's dead. Obviously, she's not. But Chapter 11's really, really cool. Clay, from the Silver Eyes, the investigator, actually keeps the original animatronics in his basement. This is what I found really cool. So Bonnie, Freddy, Chica, Golden Freddy, and Foxy are all in his basement. They don't do anything. They're just completely lifeless. They don't do anything at all. Until John and Jessica go to Clay's house because he's told them that he's got the original animatronics for help. They ask the animatronics for help, which is really, really cool and interesting. They don't do anything. They ask for help. The animatronics remain lifeless and don't do anything. They say William Afton once, and the animatronics all wake up, go all twitchy and crazy, and become active again. They leave the house and they go after to find William Afton, and the gang follows the animatronics in the distance. Twisted Freddy has actually taken Charlie to a really weird location. A very weird location. I'm going to have to, like, this is for the whole chapter, guys. I'm going to have to read this. I'll tell you the points of what I think. So, Charlie escapes from Freddy because Freddy buries himself again, but Charlie's still alive, but he's getting suffocated by the dirt and has to make her way out. It's very weird where she gets lured into. Basically, it's like this facility, like a storage facility of loads of weird creations of animatronics. It's basically a man-made cave. It's weirdly created a room to look like a cave, and it has a man-made waterfall, a plastic mountain where the water falls on, a man-made waterfall with gadgets and stuff to make the waterfall, and a stream. There's loads of arcade games and carnival games. The arcade games and carnival games have never been used. The screens are completely normal. They've never been used. There's loads of tropical animatronics, weird creations of birds on top of the games, chimpanzees. And then in the storage room, there's a gorilla and there's a brown rabbit. And there's loads of balloon boys as well, weirdly. Tons and tons of balloon boys. Again, which if I know it's a different universe, but it makes me think that William Afton created BB in FNAF 2. And it also makes me think that's why Nightmare BB is canon in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, but the Nightmare Puppet isn't, and stuff like that. Think about that, guys. And the BBs come around Charlie and try and trick her and stuff, make like, hello, 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 and they all go, blah, 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 blah. It's basically a chase scene of Charlie hiding away from BBs, and Twisted Freddy's in there as well. He's woken up and he's lurking around. But John comes and saves them with Jessica. Basically, the BBs had the same discs as the Twisted animatronics. The discs what make you hallucinate. So Charlie was hallucinating them floating with the balloons and luring around her. She also, with the arcade game animatronics, all looking at her really spookily. They were all fake discs, guys. Completely fake. It was all hallucinations, and they didn't have the same detail. When their discs got deactivated, all the carnival animatronics and the Twisted animatronics had no face. There was just a blank canvas of a face, and they were just parts. That's it. They weren't actual animatronics. They were just like completely dumb, lifeless animatronics when the discs came off, which is really, really interesting. Also, guys, it's not just the discs. In this room, this facility, the lights on the walls made them hallucinate as well. How crazy is that? It wasn't just sound, it was also the lights what were making them hallucinate too. We know that, guys, because Clay shoots the lights one by one, and then the BBs stop being weird and then just remain normal. They're just hallucinations, what they see, which is really interesting as well. I know it's not with the game lore again, guys, but some of the locations, especially Five Nights at Freddy's 3, had lights on the wall as well as gas as well. So more to do with hallucinations again, right? Funny thing is, guys, how the hell did John, Clay, and Jessica get to that location anyway? It was because of the original animatronics. The original animatronics went to this location and saved the day. They came in and started ripping apart the BBs. They started fighting against the Twisted animatronics and wrecking them. Twisted Wolf was back, and Twisted Bonnie joins in the game. The first time we see Twisted Bonnie as well. And they start attacking all the animatronics, which is really, really cool. And like I said, they rip out they shoot the discs, and Twisted Freddy has a normal face, a blank face again, which reveals that they're just completely lifeless animatronics. They don't even have any details. This is where the plot twist comes in, guys. When they think they're all safe and everything, well, not technically safe just yet, William Afton is alive. And this is his facility, guys. This is where William Afton has been doing his experiments and his testing with animatronics, probably before he turned into Springtrap, and now he's returned there. The reason why, guys, the Twisted animatronics were active after the storm is because Springtrap was controlling them while he was trapped in the storage facility. When Charlie killed Dave, or William Afton, in Springtrap, he got these powers where he could control his original creations of the twisted animatronics, which was really, really interesting. So, although he was trapped in the storage facility in the demolished Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, he could still control the twisted animatronics. And the twisted animatronics were going to go and save William Afton anyway. They were going to go to the abandoned pizzeria and open the storage closet so we could get out. But Charlie did that anyway, accidentally, didn't she? We also know in the book now, Springtrap is official. He himself, William Afton, calls himself Springtrap, and that's how he wants to be called. They go, Dave, is that you? And they go, no, my name is Springtrap. So he wants to be called Springtrap now, which is really interesting. All the caverns, all the caves were all fake. It was designed by Springtrap. None of it is real. They're just props and everything, which is really weird why he wanted to design a cave. And a waterfall as well, and arcade rooms. It seems like he wanted to have this as a fun house or something. Or, like I said, he just wanted to test things and see what would be cool inside pizzerias and stuff. But I still don't understand why it was underneath Henry's house. That's what I find weird. All of it was underneath Henry's house. And, again, it just makes me think back to Sister Location and all the things underground. They all belonged to William Afton. The underground facility was William Afton's. So it seems understandable why it would be underneath Henry's house. Maybe Henry didn't even know that William Afton was making these under his house. Or maybe he did. Like I said, guys, it was a secret room in Henry's house. But it was sealed off. So it was never discovered until the storm came and knocked down the wall and the door was revealed. So, also there's a lot about Sammy as well. Charlie wants to know about Sammy. That's her brother who got killed by Dave back in the Silver Eyes a long time ago, where they were both playing in the costume room. William came in as Spring Bonnie and took Sammy and left. There's a lot of talking about that through the whole book. And Charlie wants to know why Sammy's gone, and she has loads of dreams and stuff and visions of a door, and Sammy's behind that door, and she always thinks about it, always. She draws in the book rectangles to demonstrate her feelings about the door where Sammy is trapped behind. So yeah, basically they all have a massive fight. The twisted animatronics get wrecked by the main animatronics, and then the whole thing starts to collapse. The facility starts to collapse. There's a fight between Charlie and Springtrap with a spear, and then Charlie demands Springtrap to tell why he chose Sammy instead of her, and says like, I didn't choose Sammy, I chose you, which was really weird. A weird thing to say, which I still don't understand. And yeah, Springtrap survives again, guys. The whole thing starts to collapse. Charlie gets a bit weird, say, oh, what do you mean by you chose me? You killed Sammy, so how the hell did you choose me? And starts to lose a grip on the spear. John comes in, takes Charlie, and they all go. But Springtrap has a trap door in his facility, and he goes under the trap door and survives once again. Of course he does, and he's still alive, obviously. In the trapdoor doing whatever while the whole thing collapses. They get out, and they get out where the 3 holes were, where Twisted Foxy is. They get out exactly at the same place, which is interesting. And then the room where they got out of was a hallucination as well. When that whole thing collapsed, the hallucination of the wall disappeared, and that door, what Charlie wanted to go in through the whole book, is there. Obviously she wants to go in there. It's the metallic door what she's been visioning of, where she thinks Sammy is. So she starts like trying to open the door, listening to the door saying, Sammy, is that you? And she thinks Sammy's behind the door. But then the whole thing's about to collapse. So John's like, Charlie, come on, we gotta go. And Charlie's like, no, I wanna see Sammy. And then Charlie listens to John. They're about to go. Twisted Freddy comes out of the rubble, grabs Charlie, sucks him in his chest cavity, and they all try and get Charlie out. And sadly, the spring locks close. Charlie goes limp, her arm's hanging out of Twisted Freddy. Her arm goes limp. Blood all over her arms. Charlie is supposedly dead. When John walks out because the police come and start pulling them away from the body, Aunt Jen is there from the last book, looking at the dead body. Weirdly, she's there. Still don't understand why Aunt Jen's there, and looks at John, and the whole building collapses on both of them. We don't see Aunt Jen again after that, and maybe she survived. Who knows? Still find it really weird why she was there in the first place. How did she know about this? Why was she there? Still don't understand. But yeah, at the end, they all go sad. They're all in the restaurant talking about it. But weirdly, Charlie, apparently a lookalike of Charlie, comes out of a car, and everyone's like, Charlie? Oh my god, it's Charlie. And then the ending is, that's not Charlie. And that's the end of the book. Cliffhanger. So they all think it is Charlie, but then they say, that's not Charlie. So maybe it is Charlie, guys, and she survived. Or maybe William Afton took her body and did stuff to her and made her weird and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting. Or it could be Aunt Jen. It could be a girl similar to... Because I think Aunt Jen looked very similar to Charlie. So it could be her. It could be a random girl. People thought she was Charlie, so it's got to look exactly like her. And she had like the punk rock boots on or something, which Charlie always wears and stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting whether that's Charlie or not, and whether William Afton got a body and did stuff to her, and possessed her or whatever they did. It's going to be interesting. Like Charlie's William Afton's new experiment or something. Who knows? So yeah, that's basically everything I wanted to talk about. I thought the ending was good. I loved all the lore about William Afton, about Afton Robotics, more information about William Afton, which we always want. Like how he used the discs to make hallucinations to kiddies, as well as people who like, and for normal people as well. You know, maybe the night guards and stuff like that got hallucinated too, and they all died, obviously, which is interesting because it might come back to the game as well. Maybe some of these animatronics, like in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, had the same discs, which made the kid hallucinate the animatronics as freaking terrifying as nightmare animatronics. As we knew in Sister Location on the mini-map, the animatronics were real. You saw on the mini-maps that the animatronics were real, which I believe were made by William Afton, because this is William Afton's facility, Afton Robotics, and there were pinpoints where the animatronics were on the map, and they were all there. So that makes me think that the nightmare animatronics are real, but they don't look like that in real life, guys. It's just that the little kid hallucinated them to look like that. They don't actually look like that. Same with Plush Bonnie and stuff like that. Which I think's interesting. I think it's very, very interesting, don't you? And even the nightmare animatronics, especially Fredbear, had the chest cavity in his belly, the jaws in his belly. So yeah, very, very interesting, right? And why would Scott, for a start, put Nightmare as the cover as the Twisted Ones, you know? You know what I mean, guys? It seems like this book seems to be very linked to Five Nights at Freddy's 4 in an alternate universe where I honestly feel that William Afton made the Nightmare animatronics and made them put the chip inside them or whatever, he used gas or whatever he did to make them look like that. And yeah, he used lights to hallucinate with people, he used sound to hallucinate people, and if you'd used both of those, gas as well. That's why in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 you have gas leaks and stuff like that to hallucinate Springtrap's little minions to hallucinate and jump scare us. It all makes sense to me, guys. I think it solved more stuff. The sad thing is, guys, I know a lot of people are going to shout at me saying the game lore's not the same as the book lore. Scott did say that, guys, but You got to think properly, guys. You got to be mature about it. It's an alternate universe where things can be similar and things can't be similar. It's as simple as that. And I think, like, the tiny details in this book are similar to the game and probably will be canon to the game, such as the microchips to lure the kids to make them think that the animatronics are real looking and cute. But if you're scared of them, you see nightmares, stuff like that. That's what I think, guys, and I think this book was very good. This was kind of an analysis and a summary as well. So, kind of an analysis, review, and summary of the whole thing, and my thoughts on everything. I thought it was great, I loved it, and I'm looking forward to the third book. So guys, thank you so much for watching my summary, review, analysis, whatever it was. I'll probably go into more detail with another video, and I want to do a video explaining things what are similar to the book and similar to the games, because I feel like that will help a lot of theories. I'll probably get a lot of hate, but like I said, guys, I do feel like details in these books work with the game, and I want to do a video on that. So thank you so much for watching my Twisted Ones review. Guys, I really do recommend it. If you're a FNAF fan, go and get it. If you're not a FNAF fan as well, I think you'll enjoy these books. But like I said, guys, read the Silver Eyes first and the Twisted Ones next. I am doing an audio book on the Silver Eyes as well at this current time. I still need to do chapter 2 as well, but they take a lot of work, and I'll probably do the Twisted Ones after the Silver Eyes too. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this super long video about me talking about poo, blabbering on about the amazing book. I just wanted to just tell you everything and my feelings about it, and it was awesome. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all next time.